And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray as we start the new year. Welcome to 2024 as we bring this new year in with a bang, so to speak. We've already had our first incident this morning as we wake up and we start seeing what's happening. We'll have more details on this coming up at 7 o'clock here at the Scotty Ray Report as Odie will have the morning off. Greg will be filling in for him. Here's what we know so far this morning as we get this started. Let me pull this up. We've had an accident at 35th Avenue. There is one person that is deceased at the scene. Possibly this was a stolen car. They wrecked. It had 4 occupants in the car. The car caught fire. That is what we know at this point. Again, one person is deceased. The new coroner is getting responding to the scene now. Very first call of the year, bright and early. We will update you as this story develops this morning. A lot going on with this as we wake up to 24. I hope this doesn't set the pace of the new year, don't you? 23 went out with a bang. Did everybody enjoy themselves? Maybe you've done some fireworks on your own. It's going to be a lot more today. And again, as I said in the past, I didn't post every gunshot that was listed in case there was confusion. Now, there was a lot out there, trust me on that. But we did. I was very mindful that it could have been accident, people just shooting fireworks. So that's what we did. We've got more of that on the way. We'll do some national headlines in a minute of what's shaping America, what you need to know about. Then we'll head into the morning show at 7 o'clock. All that's on the way. Right now, let's go to Collinsville, to the First Baptist Church.
Well, Happy New Year. I hope the blessings of God will be on you and yours here in 2024. I have a song in my heart this morning. Your love is deep. Your love is high. Your love is long, long. Your love is wide. Well, that song goes on to say, your love is deeper than my view of grace, higher than this worldly place, longer than this road I've traveled, and wider than the gap you filled. What a beautiful but simple song. I'm reminded of those lyrics when I read Ephesians 3:18 and 19. May you have power together with all the saints to grasp how wide and long and high and deep is the love of Christ, and to know this love that surpasses knowledge, that you may be filled with the measure of all the fullness of God. Man, what a great verse. Have you ever considered the measure of God's love? I mean, I can't tell you exactly how big it is because it's actually immeasurable, right? Unfathomable. But here's what I do know. It's big enough, deep enough, high enough, long enough, wide enough to redeem you from your sins to bring you to heaven forever with God. Oh, your sin's big? Well, God's love's bigger and can overcome every shortfall through Jesus Christ. God's love's amazing. And you can experience it forever if you'll turn from sin and trust in Christ. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, Mowdy Cabinetry, and Parker Marketing Insurance Advisors. And good morning. If you're just tuning in, we're so glad that you've chosen us. Fewer headlines and local headlines, whatever the case may be. Welcome. As I said, Greg will be filling in this morning as Odie takes the day off to bring in 24. We hope he has a good one. Now, Teresa Spivey, how are you doing there? Terry Bateman is up. Lisa, how are you? Orange Park, Florida. Mickey joining us from. Good folks from all over. Crescent Lake also up with us there. Kathy, so good to see you. And Gilbert Gaddis. And talk to you in a while, Gilbert. Hope everything is good. As we start looking at the headlines this morning as we start our new year, how do you feel about driverless cars? So far in California, they're immune to tickets. Can you believe that? A way to make extra money and they hadn't figured out how to do it? Think about that. How does the car pull over that it knows it's done something wrong? Something to think on, but right now, I don't think they've got a plan for that. All too new. Have you bought one yet? This is increasingly getting more and more. $810 million. 810. That's what the Powerball jackpot is up to. If you feel lucky today, it might be the day to do this. Do we have any Paula Abdul fans? Well, she's been around for years. She's suing. Now, you got to remember, Paula Abdul doesn't need money. So this is most likely about the real deal is she is suing an American Idol executive. You guessed it, for sexual harassment. We'll watch this case and see where it goes from there. Paula Abdul. And again, it's accusations at this point, but we'll see what it becomes. How do you feel when someone puts a human being as well a role model? Let me put it that way, a role model. When you're a role model, you normally haven't broke the law, you haven't done things. You're something that all kids and every American could look up to. A little controversy this morning. Baltimore Ravens don't put a lot of stock into the NFL's, well, the way they think. It's just not always the best. But they have, he may have been good, but a guy named Ray Rice, they're honoring him. They did it at a game, even though it was a big domestic charge against him and violence 10 years ago. They honored him. How do you feel about that? Should someone who has done such an act still be honored? The NFL did it. We'll leave it at that. New laws today. There's a lot of them going into effect around the nation as we look at where is this at? Illinois. As you get into laws, and there's so much that I probably didn't know 3 years ago. As I start looking at what shapes America and what group complains about this, and they accuse law enforcement officer of being sideways and just trying to target people. But in Illinois, no longer will police be able to pull somebody over for having something on their rearview mirror. What do I mean by that? Oh, air freshener. Dice. I didn't know there was such a law that if it obstructed your view, you could pull them over in the state of Illinois. That is no more. As of today, the police will have to just leave them alone. Didn't know that. There's several more, and I was trying to go back down here to find a couple more. Here we go. Hawaii on marriage certificates today. Those issued who request specific terms that will change the word mother to birthing parent and father to non-birthing parent. Now, this is going to be on, they're changing the wording also on marriage certificates and birth certificates. Birth. Y'all ever think it would come to this? Again, that's taking place in Hawaii. Transgender law. New marriage certificates. They're going to be changing the way it's all written there, who your mother is and how that's written. Different. The Rose Parade will take place today. Everybody ready to watch that? That was a big one, kind of like the Macy's Day Parade, the Rose Bowl Parade. Hope you can watch that. A lot of people tune into that every year. We've had a couple of deaths over the weekend of famous folks. Shecky Green, if I pronounced that right. Shecky, S-H-E-C-K-Y. He was a big legendary Las Vegas stand-up comedian. He's passed away at the age of 97. He worked with Frank Sinatra. He also worked with Elvis. He has passed away over the weekend. We have another Maurice Hines. He was a famed dancer and Broadway star. He's passed away at the age of 80. Condolences to each of these families. I'm sure that they will be greatly missed in their role in life. New York, as we look at this morning. Now, we all know that there are people that get depressed and suicide does happen. But if you take that stance, it should be only you that you affect. Turns out to be a police sergeant, a New York police sergeant, took his life and his family. They were all found dead in their home over the weekend. Horrible, horrible it is. We see in California this morning, this all happened this weekend, that a California boy that was 10 years old, where he got the idea from, I don't know, but he killed another 10-year-old child in his neighborhood with a stolen gun that he found in his daddy's car. Bad examples there. We pass condolences to the family of that 10-year-old boy as well. Now, Minnesota. It's cold up there this time of year, isn't it? I turn to this next story as we look at this. And this has been out there a few weeks, but it's starting to get some traction of what's going on. You ever been to the dentist? Maybe you have 2 fillings, 3 fillings at most, because it's painful. Most dentists, well, it's kind of like going to the doctor for a checkup. You spread it out, there's more office visits. Well, this dentist didn't do this in Minnesota. The woman is disfigured. She had 4 root canals, 8 crowns, and 20 fillings all at one time, and has disfigured her face. She's suing. Again, remember that now. 4 root canals, 8 crowns, and 20 fillings all in one visit. I've never heard of such. Had to be painful. Boy, oh boy. Have you got a blender? We have a big recall on this. If you bought one at Costco or Target, even Walmart, they're recalling these because, well, they can catch fire and laceration risk. What is the brand of this? Blend Jet 2 portable blenders. You have one of those? Blend Jet, that's it. Check yours. If you've got one of those, they've got a recall on it. You might want to get that returned as quickly as possible. Don't use it for sure. Do you remember, and let me show you his face so that you'll remember him. He was attacked by bikers. Anybody remember the 90210 show? I think he's going to be okay. But let me show you a picture here from Fox News of what he looks like. This guy right here. Y'all remember him from 90210? He was attacked. He's not in good with the bikers, you could say. It all happened there in California. We wish him the best with that. Let's see what else is happening this morning. As we wake up, New Year, fireworks exploded across the entire United States. It's some beautiful scenes as we go to take a look here at Daily Mail of some of these scenes that happen. Statue of Liberty in the background. Just absolutely gorgeous there. A few kisses there in Times Square. Later on, after the Times Square, after the ball was dropped, someone was running from the law. Ran into the crowd and injured a few people. Actually, 9 people are injured. He was a 44-year-old being chased by the cops. Couldn't control his car. Whew. Never pays to run, does it? We'll be right back with your forecast as we start this day. That's a quick glimpse of what's happening as we bring in 24 this year. Can you believe that? 1/1/24. Try to write your checks today and see if you get that right or tomorrow. It's going to take a week or two for us to get all that correct. We'll be right back.
Sanders Gas, Sanders Air and Heat is your full-service propane supplier since 1946. We take pride in ensuring reliable, friendly service to our customers. We also provide safety tune-ups related to propane, air conditioning, and heating systems, keeping our communities efficient and safe. I'm Chuck Sanders, and yes, we're local.
The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're built in, are conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
As we get into our forecast today, we turn back to last year, this date. Actually, it was 2 years ago. Got to get used to this. It was 82 degrees in 2022. The record low was set in 1964 with a very cold day of 15. As we look at today's highs, it looks like we'll hit 55. Mostly sunny as this frost will burn off eventually as we get to Philadelphia. We're expecting it to be 52, somewhere around Columbus, about 50 today. Out to our west down the river, around 53 is what we're averaging there. Down to our south, Hattiesburg, could be 58. Chance of some sprinkles in that area. As we go east into Alabama, that's last night low. It looks to be sunny and about the same temperature. We're looking for it to be 55 to 56 in most areas across the adjoining there at the Twin States line. So we're looking at that. As we glance at the next forecast for the next 10 days, kind of normal across the deep south, but out to our west, starting to come into West Texas, some colder weather. What does this hold for us? Now, that's 2 weeks off. We'll watch it very closely there. Above average in Florida, kind of normal here across the deep south in Mississippi, Alabama, and Louisiana. As we look at our 7-day forecast, we'll see 54 today. Now, tonight, bundle up. Make sure your pets are warm. 26 for a low, making it the coldest night of the week. That's going to happen tonight. We want you to be warm. 55 for a high tomorrow. We'll get down to freezing on Wednesday with a low of 30. We'll watch that. Most likely nothing's going to happen there, but we'll watch that in case it's most likely going to quit raining before that happens, but we'll watch it. As we move into Thursday, and I made a lie to you, didn't I? 51 on Thursday with the nighttime low at 24. So Thursday will be the coldest night of the week. Front row. We'll just fix that live, won't we? As we head into the weekend, things are a tad better. They're 54 for a high, 38 at nighttime, down to 34 on Saturday. Still in the 50s, but 50% chance of showers on the weekend there on Saturday. As we look at the rest of the week, Elvis's birthday looks to be a 60% chance of rain. As we move right on down, we got rain chances there with highs in the 50s. And look at this, 37, 35, 32, something to watch here on the 13th and 14th. It's kind of that outlook as we look ahead to what's coming in January, mid-month. Again, as we all know here in the South, weather changes drastically from one week to the next. As we get into Monday, what's the fishing forecast for today? Well, the best time was at 4 o'clock this morning. Who was up fishing? I was not, because it was kind of cold as we look at this. Your next major time will happen this afternoon beginning at 4:30 and run to about 6:30. It'll be right there at dark. Now, it's going to be gusty today. Winds will be north wind around 10, gust as high as 20 miles an hour. That's pretty tough for fishing, and it doesn't do a lot for deer hunting either with that winds cutting up like that. Our friends at Collinsville Meat tells us the first major time was overnight. Your next major time there is going to be coming in this afternoon at 5:30. So right there at dark is going to be the play period. Will it be good to hunt? Wind always plays a factor in it. Hunt with the wind. Hadn't been at all this year. Seeing a few pictures there, though. We're coming up on 6:47. We'll be kicking off the morning show here in just a little while. A lot to go on. We had a last-minute robbery in Newton right before midnight last night. Gunshots were fired. No one was hurt. We got all the details on that coming up at 7 a.m. Don't miss out on it. We're going to clue you into everything that's gone on over the last, couple of days as we brought in 24. It's all on the way. Good morning. Don't forget, what is it? Greens and black-eyed peas. We'll talk about all that at the top of the hour. Join us, won't you, for the Scotty Ray Report, kicking off at 7.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.